Masturbation is often regarded as a natural and normal act, both in humans and other mammals. However, the question arises, to what extent is it healthy, and when does it cross the line into addiction? What if you find yourself unable to stop? These questions are worth exploring, as this seemingly harmless act can conceal deeper consequences for your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Before delving into the discussion, it's important to acknowledge that this topic, though often sensationalized, addresses a significant issue affecting many in the modern era, one that can erode willpower and self-control. In this exploration, we will examine the scientific and philosophical implications of masturbation, particularly through the lens of Stoicism, which offers timeless wisdom on mastering desires and achieving inner freedom. From a medical perspective, masturbation is considered a normal biological function. Research indicates that it can even have certain benefits, such as aiding sleep. For instance, studies have shown that after orgasm, the male brain experiences a deactivation of sexual desire, allowing the cerebral cortex, the region responsible for conscious thought, to rest. This process can facilitate sleep, explaining why many men feel drowsy after sexual activity. However, beneath this apparent benefit lies a potential trap. Masturbation triggers the release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure, stress relief, and reward. While this can provide temporary satisfaction, the brain's response to repeated dopamine surges can lead to dependency. Over time, the brain adapts by demanding more stimulation to achieve the same level of pleasure, creating a cycle of compulsive behavior. This cycle can escalate into what is clinically recognized as hypersexuality disorder, classified under obsessive-compulsive disorders. Excessive masturbation can lead to a loss of self-control, fostering addictive patterns that extend beyond solitary acts. It may drive individuals toward destructive behaviors, such as compulsive pornography consumption or risky sexual encounters, all in pursuit of fleeting dopamine-induced gratification. The brain, overwhelmed by excessive dopamine, may begin to block receptors in an attempt to regulate itself, leaving the individual feeling empty and frustrated despite their actions. This mirrors the patterns seen in other addictions, such as smoking, overeating, or alcoholism, where the pursuit of pleasure becomes self-destructive. This is where Stoicism offers profound insights. The Stoics, including figures like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, emphasized the importance of self-mastery and the disciplined management of desires. They viewed pleasure not as an end in itself, but as a potential obstacle to true freedom and inner peace. For the Stoics, the pursuit of carnal satisfaction was not inherently wrong, but it became problematic when it dominated one's life and eroded self-control. They believed that true fulfillment comes from understanding and mastering our impulses, rather than being enslaved by them. As Seneca wisely noted, it is not the absence of pleasure, but the ability to control it that defines a virtuous individual. From a Stoic perspective, compulsive masturbation represents a loss of harmony with nature and oneself. When we succumb to unchecked desires, we disrupt the natural order and distance ourselves from inner serenity. The Stoics taught that guilt, shame, and dissatisfaction often accompany such behaviors, creating an emotional whirlwind that undermines mental clarity and peace. By practicing introspection and self-regulation, we can confront these emotions constructively, breaking free from the cycle of compulsion. True satisfaction, they argued, lies not in momentary pleasures, but in the cultivation of virtue, self-awareness, and the ability to find joy in simplicity. Stoicism also encourages us to consider the broader consequences of our actions. Every choice we make, including how we manage our desires, has ripple effects on our character and our connection to the world around us. When we yield to compulsive behaviors, we risk losing sight of our higher principles and drifting away from our noblest purposes. The Stoics believed that inner peace is achieved through self-discipline and moderation, not through the relentless pursuit of fleeting pleasure. Practices like meditation and mindfulness can help cultivate the mental clarity needed to resist temptations and align our actions with our values. Moreover, the Stoic approach to desire is not about repression, but about understanding and transformation. It is about recognizing that our impulses, while natural, do not have to dictate our actions. By observing our desires without immediately acting on them, we create a space for reflection and choice. This practice, known as proso, attention or mindfulness, allows us to respond to our urges with wisdom rather than react with impulsivity. Over time, this cultivates a sense of inner strength and resilience, enabling us to navigate life's challenges with greater equanimity. Consider the broader implications of compulsive behavior on your life. How does it affect your relationships, your productivity, and your sense of self-worth? When we prioritize momentary gratification over long-term growth, we often find ourselves trapped in a cycle of regret and dissatisfaction. The Stoics remind us that true happiness is not found in external pleasures, but in the cultivation of a virtuous character. By aligning our actions with our values, we create a life of meaning and purpose, free from the chains of addiction. Ultimately, the question is not whether masturbation is normal, but whether it serves your growth and well-being. Are you in control of your actions, or are they controlling you? Do your habits align with your deeper values, or do they pull you away from them? The Stoic path invites us to reflect on these questions and strive for a life of self-mastery, where we are no longer prisoners of our desires, but masters of our own minds. True confidence, success, and fulfillment come not from indulging in momentary pleasures, but from cultivating strength, discipline, and inner peace. Take a moment to consider, what kind of life do you wish to lead? One driven by fleeting impulses, or one guided by purpose and self-control? The choice is yours. By embracing the Stoic principles of self-awareness, moderation, and virtue, you can break free from the cycle of compulsion and embark on a journey toward a more fulfilling and authentic existence. Remember, the path to true freedom begins with mastering yourself.